Welcome to Brand Lover, honest, real, and lively conversations for flourishing entrepreneurs and budding business owners on a mission to cultivate a heartfelt brand that connects with their purpose-driven mission. My hope is that you walk away feeling inspired and refreshed with a weekly takeaway in your back pocket that you can apply to your life or business. A huge welcome to Zara Demeris from the Play Card Co. I am so excited to share Zara's story with you. I met Zara only recently, probably a few months ago, when we worked on a few visual brand embellishments for her brand. That's another story. But when I shared her brand name in my social media, like I tagged her, and my DMs just blew up because I just got so many comments from all these people, gushing over her as a person, and her products and her brand, which I'm excited to share for you in a minute. And I thought I just have to chat with Zara on the podcast. Like, this is really exciting. So welcome, Zara. Thank you for coming and chatting with me.
No, thank you so much for having me. And it's so exciting that my community was there rallying for me in your DMs. It's such an honor. I love my community.
It's the best. It's just what we all sort of are striving for, really, in business. It's very exciting. So could you please introduce yourself and tell us about the Play Card Co?
Absolutely. So my name's Zara and I'm a primary school teacher by trade. Now I am a full-time mum, always have been for the last 6 years. Yeah. But as well as that, I run the Play Card Co. We create play prompts for families and just try to inspire families to get playful simply at home using things that they already have. So they can get one of our decks of cards, open it up and find a simple play idea to get playful with their families.
Amazing. Such an incredible idea. I love it. But first of all, I just mentioned it before in your intro. You have cultivated a brand, and a brand is really like your reputation. It's how people are feeling about your products and how they think about you, and how they sort of measure you against other brands, I guess, in the space that's filling a need for them. But it's so obvious that you have countless admiring fans. Like, I've never had a reaction like that when I've shared someone I've worked with before. And I was stalking your website earlier. You have a swag of awards to your name already. And you just seem unstoppable. You have such a beautiful, vivacious personality as well, like so generous. But how long have you actually been in business?
We have been in business for 12 and a half months.
That's amazing.
So we've only had product in Australia for maybe 10 of those months. Okay. Because when we first launched, we didn't actually have product here. So it was just me telling everyone how cool we were with my little samples. Yeah. And then the product landed. So it's all pretty new.
So, okay. So let's rewind a little bit. When did it actually start? Like, when did you have when was the seed planted? When did you have the idea? And how did you know that it was something to act upon?
So maybe about 3 or 4 years ago, I started a personal Instagram account about sharing my journey with play with my children. Mm-hmm. And through that account, I connected with a lot of like-minded families and realized that there was a huge gap, that people wanted to be a play mum. I proudly call myself a play mum in that play is my life and it is in my bones. But what I found was that there were so many people who wanted to get playful, but they didn't have play in their bones. So that started something ticking over in my head, and I could never quite figure out what it was. And then maybe, June of 2021, I was sitting down and I was watching a movie with my husband and I went, oh, I've got it. It's a recipe book of play, but it's not a book. They're cards and they live in your kitchen drawer. And that's what we've got to do. And I jumped up, threw the blanket off and sat on the computer literally all night, just nutting this out. So that was in June and we launched in August.
What?
Yeah. So there was a lot of time, I guess, pre-idea, kind of stewing with it all. But then when it came, it was just so right, so perfect, that we just acted on it as soon as we could.
So how did that work for you? So you had 2 months to pull it all together to sort of actually even manufacture the cards and everything.
That's exactly right. So that first night, I came up with the name, the play card co, because I'm like, it's simple, it's a play card, it's just what it is. And then I contacted someone to do my logo. Had a whole lot of inspiration ideas, and they worked with me. My husband actually travels to China for work. Our cars are manufactured in China. Travels to China every year for his work. So subsequently has some wonderful contacts over there, which I was able to call on, and then they were able to find things for us. And then the longest part was actually getting our trademark, because we registered for our trademark before we launched, because we didn't want to come out to the market and other people kind of step on our toes. So that was probably the longest part of the process.
Yeah, well, that's really interesting, because a lot of people don't trademark until they know that their business is going to actually be a thing.
Yeah, and look, I knew that, but I believed in it. From that moment it happened, it was a whole body experience, that this idea was just like, this is what families need, that it was either all or nothing. And I've kind of gone with that strategy the whole time. Like I truly believe in my product, and it solves a problem, and I love it, and I'm passionate about it. So why wouldn't I give it its everything that I can? And I guess that's how we went from idea to launch in 2 months.
Yeah, you can see the passion oozing out of you. I think that's why you're just so magnetic, because you embody your brand. Like you embody everything that it stands for, and you're 100% committed, and it shows. Like it's actually fruitful because of that. So how then have you grown so quickly in this time? Like how have you managed to snag all these incredible awards and grow? You said that you had a small fan base to start with, so it's great you had an audience already there who was receptive to your message. But what I'd love to know, sort of what you've put into place strategically since then to actually grow and market your brand in this last 10 months really.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know, like, my existing audience from my personal account, I only bought only 800 of those to my new play card account. So although that's a great amount, but it's not a huge, it wasn't a huge amount. I was honestly expecting more. But when I started the play card account, I knew that I had to build a community, and to build a community, you need time. So there was lots of late nights on Instagram. Instagram is my jam.
Okay.
And talking to people, chatting to people, responding to their stories, commenting on their photos, and creating awareness for who I was. And then when they would come to my account, and if you scroll back to the start, it was horrible, not curated, and not ideal. But what they would see in stories, they would see me, and they would see me talking about it and telling my story and sharing everything. So instead of just a brand, I was a person. Because I believe people buy from people, and I am who I am, and I love my product, and people seem to really resonate with that, because it is a product that is true to me. And that has really helped build a community. And from there, and from interacting with people, and collaborating with other shops and other small businesses, and influencers, not paid, just authentic interaction, been able to build an absolutely incredible community of people who just love and support us.
Yeah, amazing. And like you've already touched on, like so many key things that it takes to actually sell to people. And one of those is trust. And when you are relatable, and your audience can sort of just know that you're a human and you're just a passionate woman trying to help them, like genuinely trying to help them. I think like having trust is so important. And then facilitating like word of mouth through influencers is so clever. So smart, like so genuine, but just really clever from a marketing perspective. So congratulations. Like there's no other way. I'm just like gobsmacked. I was so inspired by you.
No, thank you so much. Look, I legitimately, I said I love my product, but as a subside of that, my community, I have so much respect and gratitude for them. And every person who puts through an order, I see their name and I pack their order. And every time there is like a bounce of gratitude. And I tell that to my customers too.
Yeah.
I write every single one of my customers, which is so labor intensive, a personal email and say thank you.
Yeah.
Because it means the world. They get a handwritten note. I say thank you.
Yeah.
And with my audience and my customer base being mothers, I don't know how it works in your house, but the two people that I work for, my 6-year-old and 4-year-old, they don't often say thank you unless prompted.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
for mothers to feel that way is really powerful, and I do have that gratitude for them and their support. So for them to feel that from me is really powerful too.
Yeah, how beautiful. And I'm sure that your little people will grow up and just be like, wow, mum, thank you. You're amazing. I'm 100% sure of that. They will, they don't know at the time. Mine don't really either.
And look, they are,
I have no
my
idea.
children are the absolute best, and I wouldn't change them for the world.
Yeah.
But motherhood can be a thankless task sometimes.
It can be, yeah.
No matter how magical and polite and kind your children are, it can be quite thankless.
Yeah. So just on that, like to real life, because there must be a lot in what you do, like in your day, because it's a physical product. Like you actually have to process orders and send your thank you notes and write your emails and do all the social media and get to the post office or get them couriered or whatever, like so much. Plus, like motherhood is a full-time job.
Yeah.
Sometimes I talk to my other business friends and we have a little rant on Voxer and just like if life stuff happens with the kids or whatever, it's like, I don't have time to have a business. What am I even thinking? Like, what am I doing? So what does a day in the life of Zara look like? Like, what does it look like from get up to go to bed?
It's hectic. It's absolutely hectic. So I have 2 work days a week. I work on a Tuesday and a Friday, but those work hours, it's 9:30 until 3 because I've got to get to school pick up for my son. But the other days are just a complete juggle. And even on a Tuesday, it's get up, make snack boxes, do wheat bix, get dressed, get to school pick up, and then hope that the phone doesn't ring that one of the kids needs to be picked up. And it's really chaotic, and it is really hard. And I've had the same thought as you, Rach, that I don't have time for this business. I know when we first met, I had COVID and I was like, I don't have time to be sick. I'm not going to be sick. And I tried to power through. And I think I said that to you, and it makes it worse. But to have 2 full-time jobs that are all consuming, it's exhausting, and there's no way to sugarcoat it, and it's not easy, and it is really hard. I think my saving grace in all of this is my incredibly supportive husband. He is my number one cheerleader and would move heaven and earth to get to help me. So a lot of the time he'll get home, and he also runs his own business. So we are absolute suckers for punishment, but he'll get home at 6 o'clock, take over from the kids, and then I'll work from 6 o'clock till 1 o'clock in the morning, just trying to get things done so that the next day I can be present and playful with my own kids.
Yeah. So it takes a village.
Oh, absolutely, without a doubt. On school holidays now, it takes a village for me to be able to be at this podcast, for me to meet all my other meetings that I'm going to, and to continue to keep the wheels turning during the time when the kids are home all the time. Yeah.
There are no words. And I think only other business mums really, truly understand. So what keeps you going?
My customers.
Yeah.
It's honestly the most wonderful thing that they trust me to come into their home and guide the way that they play and guide the way that they create memories, and engage with their children. That is such a sacred space, the private home of a family, and that connection between a parent and a child, or a grandparent and a child, and the way that they welcome me in, and the changes that then they're able to see in their home is such an honor, and it is such a high for me. that I'm able to give that gift to people, and that's what keeps me going, so that I can continue to do that for more and more families.
Yeah. But are you ever tempted to go back to teaching and just have the, the predictable life?
I mean, the temptation is there, and in those times when you're overwhelmed and you want to throw the hat in, yeah, absolutely. I'm my own accountant, I am my own web developer, and I don't know any of that stuff, and it's really hard to learn. But then I think about the difference that I am making now and the reach that I have now. And that's what I want to be remembered for, is making a difference. And teachers make an incredible difference. They do. They really do. And that's why I became a teacher, because I wanted to impact families. But at the moment, I feel like this is my path. And this is the journey that I need to walk, and how I can impact and make a difference in the world.
Yeah, what a beautiful legacy as well. Like what just, the mark that you are leaving for generations. Like just imagine the impact that you're having like on these children who will always remember your products as kids, like you just imagine them as adults going, oh, remember those cards? Like, have you still got them? And then, oh, just so exciting. I get so
that nostalgia you have with the Women's Weekly cookbooks?
Yes.
That's what I want to be, right? I want to be the Women's Weekly cookbook of play. Like,
oh, yes. I love that. That's such a good analogy, because we all have that soft spot in our hearts for the birthday cake Women's Weekly cookbook. I've still got one.
Exactly. It was so momentous in our life.
So good. Okay. So you just seem to have picked up marketing so easily. And I can see that it's because you just have this heart of service to your people. Like you genuinely want to help them. But is there something that you wish you knew about marketing when you first started?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Even just, I think it's the small things. There's a lot I wish I knew. I wish I had have taken more time to completely nail as much as you can one thing before moving on to another. When I started, I was like, okay, Instagram, Facebook, email marketing, the web marketing, Google, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, hang on a second, chill, pick one, find a level of mastery, and then move on to another one. And then once I figured that out, it then took me another little while to figure out to be consistent between them all.
Yeah.
Like with you, the branding colors, and my voice was always the same because it was always me speaking. But the branding colors, the imagery, the overall tone, and all of that needed to be really consistent across them. And that's something that I didn't nail to begin with. So it was trying to do it all.
Yeah.
But not do it, just started with one and then moved through them, periodically to what I thought would serve my customers best, and also being really consistent. They've been big.
Yeah, because it takes a lot of time.
Yeah, it takes so much time. Actually, do you know what? I'm going to add that in. And the templates, to set up templates for things, even in like Klaviyo, which is my email system, being able to set up saved blocks. So that it comes and it's already formatted in your colors and in your font or with your button and all this kind of stuff. So you can just drag and drop and everything's consistent. Those little tips and tricks, and, Canva helping you be consistent, because you can just, it's, a simple way to achieve.
Even just setting up templates yourself in Canva help you be consistent, instead of just grabbing the first free template that's available. And it being pay
for Canva Pro, people. It's worth it. I promise it's worth it.
100%. And just those those little investments that are going to help you, investments, whether it's time or a little bit of a subscription or a membership or something to get you further quicker. I think that makes so much sense. And
to make it easier for you too, like we've said, we've got so much going on as mums, as entrepreneurs. It's huge, and if we can pay $12 a month, I don't know how much it is, for something to make our lives easier and more streamlined and less stressful, it's worth it, not only for the product that it's giving us, but for the mental space and the reduction of mental load that it gives us is worth so much more than $12. And okay, don't buy yourself a cup of coffee for a few days, and you've got that, and you've also got a sense of, I don't know, freedom and time, which is priceless.
Yeah, I love that. That's such a good point. And also, like, if you don't mind me adding on to that, just like you mentioned the mental load. So it's not just about the time that it's going to save you. Like, yes, because if you think about it, like the time it's going to save you gives you time to work on your business, to actually grow the business, like the deep core strategy, like long-term stuff that just doesn't get done when you're in the day-to-day, if you're doing everything. Just using Canva and templates as a really good example. But, you know, you mentioned the mental load. And if you can lighten that by automating and, you know, setting up templates or working with someone to help you just do a one-time thing that's going to help you in the long run, that freeing up that mental space actually, for me in particular, like this is just a personal example, I'm hoping you will relate, but then helps you to come up with fresh ideas. Like it helps you to be the visionary in the business. It's like, it's not just about I've now got an extra hour in my week to work on my business. It's like, I don't have to worry about that anymore. So my brain's got space to think. Even if you're thinking whilst cutting up carrots for dinner or in the shower, I don't know, that's when I usually just let my mind wander and I'm doing those mundane tasks that I'm actually like creating in my head.
Yeah, because you've taken away that mundane task of what time is it? I've got to post to Instagram at 8. What time is it? What time is it? What time is it? You know that something's going to send you a notification, say, hey, Zara, can you post this post at this time?
Yeah.
And you do it because you haven't thought about it and your mind's free. And it's, you're spot on, because it gives you time to work on your business rather than in your business. Because the on is where the power is. And that's what makes, you know, your business, Rachel, and my business so powerful, is who we are and our creative talents is the on stuff. The in stuff can be often outsourced.
Not necessarily for me, because
because you draw your own stuff. But elements of it can be, you know,
for
like
e-commerce.
100%.
I think that's something like, really good point. So, all right. Could you, just sort of heading into wrap up, could you please share a reality of being in business that isn't sort of shared on socials, like something that, you know, something about you or your life, or just something that, you know, isn't so glamorous? Because, you know, we all try to present our polished selves online because we are advocating for our business. But yeah, if you could,
I think the heartbreak, there's a romance in owning your own business. And I know that's why a lot of people get into it, because it can be really romantic, work from anywhere, blah, blah, blah. But the heartbreak of it and the all-consuming nature of it, that in one single email, your day can be totally shattered into a million pieces. That family fun day at the zoo you were meant to have can't go on. And if you're halfway to the zoo, you've got to stay in the car on your phone trying to fix this problem while you're in tears because, okay, great, I'm living my dream, but I'm away from my family, which is why I've tried to live the dream so I could spend more time with them. And how does this work? It's not fair. I want to quit. People don't, I know in like behind the scenes businesses talk about this, but I don't think we communicate it a lot with our customers because it's horrible and it's sad and it's so deeply emotional. The heartbreak there is it, and I can almost guarantee that every business owner has gone through the heartbreak and getting that email or that you know shipping notification, oh, there's a typhoon and you know your boat's tipped over and now your stock's gone. It's heart-wrenching, and having to learn how to overcome those heart-wrenching moments is a really big personal learning experience.
Yes, because you still have got to look after the family. Like you still have got, you mentioned that example, you still got kids in the car, you still have to feed them lunch. And, you've just had this massive, devastating news
Yeah.
that you just feel like you have to fix right now. And it's like almost feels life or death.
Yep.
In business, because you're so closely tied to it and you want to do your best all the time.
Yeah.
And you're so conflicted. Like you're right. It's just, there's nothing, you can't describe that to people that don't own a business or run a business from home around their family. The conflict that occurs, the internal conflict is, it's so
It's
real.
huge. And like you said, it does feel like life or death. And the logic of it is that it isn't life or death. But in that moment, there is no way that you can see logic. It is life or death. It feels like life or death. And it might be the death of your business.
Yeah.
Some of these things that happen. And for a lot of us, our business is our third, fourth, fifth baby. It is our child, and it is something that we are so passionate and love. So to think that, one fell swoop, it could just go, it's really hard.
Yeah, and you don't want to let people down either. Like you all of a sudden, when you're in a business, you have a responsibility to all these other people, not just yourself. Like you're right. It sounds so romantic going into it. I'm sure that you hear the same things all the time, but I hear things like, oh, you're so lucky to work from home. Oh, it must be so relaxing and idyllic to work around your family. And yeah, I count myself incredibly blessed to be able to do that. That was a choice for me. And I am thankful every day, but sometimes it's the hardest thing in the world.
It absolutely is. It absolutely is. There is no doubt.
You can't explain that really. So thanks for highlighting that and pointing the spotlight on that. I think that's just so validating for so many of us, because it can be quite isolating and lonely as well. And we all sort of have that passion for our business. And I think that's important to know. If you're listening, like, you're not alone.
No, and you're not. And lean on your business friends that you have. And if you don't have any, head over to my Instagram and drop me a DM. I'll be your best friend. And we can talk about all this stuff, because you don't have co-workers to nut this out with, because it is often just you.
Absolutely. So on that, because I know that there are like so many mums at home, like now these days, there's just this incredible boom of mums at home starting businesses and e-commerce businesses and, developing products. And I'm excited because I get to work with some of them. And it's just like, I just get so excited. I feel like, I'm a service-based business, and yes, I mentor, and yes, I have memberships and courses and things, but it's all digital. To have a physical product to me just blows my mind. Like it's just a whole nother thing. And I always just, I really admire these ladies who are so brave to go into e-commerce. And I know that there's going to be ladies at home listening to this going, oh my gosh, like, wow, I wish I could do what Zara has done. And I just would love to know, what would you say to them?
Believe in yourself. And it sounds so cheesy, and I'm so sorry, because that's not measurable, and I can't actually do that. It's a state of mind, but you do need to believe in yourself. And unfortunately, if you want something actionable, you need to put in the time. These things don't happen overnight. And whilst businesses go back to the romantic thing, they will highlight all the romance of it on their socials, but it's a highlight reel. And what they're not showing is the tears in the zoo car park, the late nights up at 1 a.m, sending emails to people, working in the doctor's office because they've got, 2 minutes in a waiting room, shooting out emails. And put in the time, believe in yourself, and you can get there and you can get it done. It's hard.
But you can do it.
It's hard.
You can.
You absolutely can do it. Own your emotions and own those moments of overwhelm, because they are going to make a difference in the long run, because they'll make you reflect and see what's important. And
beautiful. Zara, you're just such a gift. You're so inspiring, and I love how you just lay it all out. Like you're just So genuine. So I'm grateful to have met you, and I'm grateful to you for coming and having a chat with me. I have some fun just to lift the vibe, some rapid fire questions to finish up with. So I'm going to ask you what your favorite is, and I'll say the word, and it's just like whatever comes into your head. So,
all right. Yeah.
Oh, you're ready.
Getting in the mood. Get my wiggle on.
Oh yeah.
Get my brain freed up. Let's do it.
All right. What's your favorite app?
Instagram.
Yeah. All right. Time of day?
Morning.
How early?
Like 6 a.m. before the house wakes up and there's no noise and it's just me, my cup of tea and my dogs.
Chill.
Yeah.
Nice. Love it. Yeah. All right. Favorite exercise?
Running.
Cool. Habit?
Habit. Cheese plates. Does that count?
Yeah, absolutely. Anything with cheese counts.
Yeah, cheese. Does a food count as a habit? I don't know.
Sure, why not? Favorite way to relax?
Snuggles with my fur babies or my people. It's just on the couch. Yeah, music and my loves are surrounding me is just golden. Yeah.
Oh. Very nice.
I'm a big old cheese ball.
I love it. Literally. All right. Last one. What's your favorite thing about your business?
The way it changes lives. Yeah.
All right. Zara Demeris from the Play Card Co. Where can we find you?
So you can find me over on Instagram at theplaycard_co. You can find me on my website, www.theplaycardco.com.au. And I'm even an old fart on TikTok, so you can find me there too, which is way out of my comfort zone, but I'm there as well.
Fabulous. Well, thank you so much again.
No, thanks so much for having me, Rach. It's been amazing. Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening. If you loved this week's episode of Brand Lover, take a screenshot of wherever you're listening and share your biggest takeaway on Instagram or Facebook, and don't forget to tag me. I'd love to give you a shout out and thank you personally. Also, feel free to subscribe and leave a review to help the Brand Lover podcast reach more heart-aligned entrepreneurs just like yourself. Thanks again, and I'll see you next week.